Hello, folks. Again, Dr. Eddie Caparucci here for this month. And what I want to talk about is the frustration of recovery. Yes, recovery can be frustrating. We try not to, and we really don't bring it up too often about the idea that, recovery isn't always smooth. People relapse. And the reason we don't really bring it up very often is because we don't want folks to get the idea that we're endorsing or condoning relapses. We're not. That being said, that it does happen. So, how do you keep yourself from getting frustrated if you're still having relapses? Or in some cases, people say slips for some of them. So let me give you some ideas. First and foremost, one, are you seeing some improvement? And what that would look like perhaps is, you're not engaging in the activities as frequently as you have in the past. Okay, you've cut back dramatically. So if you were looking at porn every day, maybe you're doing it once, twice a week. You were masturbating every day, maybe you're doing it again once or twice a week, and then it continues to slow down a little bit more and get better and better. You need to look at those types of things to find out, is the situation improving in a way? It may not be perfect, may not be where you want it to be, but yet we're trending in the right direction. The other idea too is that maybe you're feeling more convicted. You feel a lot more remorse. You feel more guilt about what you do. It's not as enjoyable. Okay, even the idea of actually going and thinking about doing it is a bit of a struggle for you. You may give into it, but yet there's still a part of you that it's not offering the same amount of mental and emotional satisfaction that you were getting from it once before. Maybe it's really starting to look ugly. That could be it too. Maybe you're to a point where you're just, you know what, it I just look at this stuff and I cringe, but yet still return like a dog, return to vomit, we return to this. All of those things, that's what you need to be looking at. Also, you know, have you started to, identify and realize that your anxiety is higher? Are you being able to proactively look at your anxiety level and say, oh, you know what, I'm starting to get out of sorts and my anxiousness is increasing, which means my compulsiveness is going to increase, which means that the likelihood of acting out is going to increase. So are you noticing more and more of that? That would be extremely positive also. So if you are trending in the right direction, that is a good thing. And we want to look at that. But then we say, okay, so if that is the case, how can we take the next step to really start to put this thing in the rearview mirror? And that is one, what's your game plan? Do you have a game plan? If you don't have a game plan, you're probably going to fail. Just like if you're an athlete and or you're an athletic team and you don't have a game plan, you're probably going to lose. So what is yours? Okay, do you know what your core emotional triggers are? Okay, we talked about that before. Again, I'm of the belief that of the visual triggers, environmental triggers, or emotional triggers, I think emotional triggers are the most powerful that we have. Do you know what they are? Okay, that's important. Um, are you slowing everything down? Have you learned to slow down not just your decision making, but have you learned to slow down your pulse rate, your heart rate? Have you learned to slow down the, that when the urge comes to be able to take a step back and say, no, don't let me just react to it. Let me respond to what goes on. And who are you going to call? All right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when it happens? Again, that game plan. What am I going to do? Okay, I know my game plan. One, I know my core emotional triggers. All right, I'm going to be slowing everything down. I know if I'm starting to feel that urge, that tension, I feel the anxiety, I'm going to reach out to somebody and call them. And then maybe what I might do is some journaling. Then maybe I'm going to engage in some sort of other activity that will take my mind off of that for a while. Plus, also the idea of why. Why now? Why is this urge? Why is this temptation here? And again, you're going to find that one of your triggers has been activated or you're drained mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Bottom line is, if you are not perfecting your recovery at this time, do not allow it to drag you backwards. Okay? Because that's what sometimes people do. It's like, okay, I messed up. Well, might as well keep messing up. No. You messed up. Get up. Brush yourself off. What am I going to learn from this? So therefore, next time I can get it right. And speaking of next time, until then.